Do you know? Waiting for oil paints to dry. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru.com. New web address. Site's not fully built yet, so there's still stuff missing. But this is the new web address, modelmaking.guru. It might still be there, but it'll be going away soon at some point. So, new web address. If you need to get hold of me, my email address has changed as well, so go onto the website and you've got contact details on there. Still on Facebook, still on Twitter, don't panic. Just new website. Anyway, hello. Right, as you can see here, I have some works in progress. I have the weapons for the Destiny Gundam, which I've had. I'm talking like, I don't know what I'm talking like. Right, so these have had a gunk wash of the good old Starship filth. Woo! They are drying, and they've got another 3 or 4 days to dry. These are the weapons for the Mega Size RX-78-2. They too have had a gunk wash of Starship filth and are waiting to dry. These should be ready around about Sunday. Today is Thursday. These should be ready around about Monday, but I might give them a couple of extra days. So I'm kind of bored now. Kind of bored. Nothing to do. The Destiny's basically done. I'm just waiting for the weapons. I've done the stand. Yeah, sneak peek. That's all you get. And the RX again is done. I've just got to finish these manipulators and stuff. So more to film on those. But right now, these are coming to an end. So it's the next time for the next project. Now, if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, you'll know I am knackered. I've had a busy last few months, lots of changes, lots of things going on, all kinds of reasons. But anyway, I'm knackered, basically, and I need a palate cleanser. I need a change. I need something that's not a complicated, invested, involved build, just to chill me out so I can just enjoy the joy of building a Gunpla or any model and get back into it and just ease myself back. I don't want to go right into a full paint weather and build and everything now, because I just haven't got the energy and I'll get bored halfway through and I'll stop. So I have decided what the next project will be. So let me move these out of the way and I will show you the next project. Ooh. I don't know what this means. This is like, it's a universal symbol of transition, please. And we have it. The next project is something that's been in my to-do pile for probably about 1.5 years now. You can tell if you can see by the layer of dust. Anyway, it is the Master Grade 1/100 scale version car Sinanju Stein. Sinanju Stein, not Shinanju. Or is it Sinanju? Sinanju? Tell me in the comments. Anyway, this puppy's been staring at me for a while. So we're going to be making this. However, I told you I wanted a relaxing and chill out build. This is not a relaxing and chill out build. It's not complicated, but it's a master grade. And master grades take a lot of work. Take everything off the sprue, get everything primed, get everything painted, herd cats, especially if you're doing a shiny metal frame and a not shiny exterior armour. Right. What we're going to do, we're going to take this kit, and if you have seen, it's going to, well, let me actually finish a sentence and that'd be brilliant. The videos we're going to do for this build series, there's not going to be a lot of them, but they're going to do 2 things. One, they're going to be a follow-up. If you've watched my original Beginner's Guide to Gunpla, or whatever the heck I called it, because I can't remember, which was a 3-part series that only ever had 2 episodes because I kind of forgot to finish it, that showed you how to, quite simply, do some weathering with oil paints. And that was it. That was a real skill level 1 beginner's guide, just to make your Gunpla look a bit more interesting without doing any proper painting. This is going to be skill level 2. It's going to be a follow-on to that. So if you followed my original beginner's guide and done yourself a nice Gundam with a bit of Starship filth or oil paint weathering, this is the next step. We're not going to paint it, not as in paint the inner frame and the armour and everything else. We're not going to be using an airbrush. We're not going to be doing any base colours. It's going to be bare plastic. However, what we are going to do is up the ante a little bit from the original beginner's tutorial. We're going to do a Starship filth gunk wash. And again, as always, if you can't get a Starship filth, don't worry, I'll go through the options for you. So we're going to do a gunk wash to get all the panel lines done. We're going to be doing a little bit of picking out some details with some paints, a little bit of chipping here and there, and we're going to use gloss and matte varnishes. So it's going to be an intermediary step between the beginner's guide, which was here's how to slap some oil paint on your unpainted Gundam and then matte varnish it, and it looks brilliant. You didn't need any skill. This is the next step. A bit more skill required, and we'll go through it. So it's going to be quite a quick paint job. Once it's all got the chipping and stuff on it and bits of weathering, we'll varnish it. It's also going to serve another purpose. Making models is expensive, and I understand that. I'm lucky in that, well, I can't really afford to buy lots of kits, but I have a little bit of disposable income that I can put to one side a crew and get myself some kits. I've got a little stash of kits. Now, right now, at this exact moment, I am skinting on my arse. So I'm not buying any new kits. I've got to go through my stash. I appreciate that making models is not a cheap hobby. For those that do the hobby along with me, brilliant. If you can afford it, fantastic. If you can't, don't panic. The second point of this video is to, aside from the cost of the kit, which can vary depending on what model you're making. This was about 65 quid. A real grade or a high grade is going to cost you a lot less. Doesn't matter what kit you're making. I'm going to show you how you can spend if you're in the UK. So obviously if you're abroad, I'm waffling now, aren't I? Can I not just finish one sentence? I've worked it out. So the products I'm going to use on this are going to come to about 50 quid or less. That's it. You don't need to spend hundreds of pounds on an airbrush and all these other things. I mean, obviously, to make the perfect model, you're going to use a lot of equipment, a lot of paints, a lot of materials. But I'm going to show you how you can spend, assuming that money's a bit tight, you've bought your kit, let's say you've got 40 or 50 quid to spare, or you can save that much up. I'm going to show you how you can use just a few basic products to make your Gundam look really good, better than the beginner's guide. It's going to be good. You're going to like it, and it's going to be a good next step. And you're not going to spend a fortune. You're going to have a small handful of paints, a small handful of products, and other bits and bobs. So, before we get to the unboxing and the opening and the showing you what's in here, because I'll do that on this, I'll quickly show you what's in the box. Let me go through the products that I think right now I'm going to use. It may change. I may actually add or take products out, but I'll give you a rough running total when we start. So, the kit itself, Master Grade Build Sinanju Stein. I got it for 65, 66 quid. Prices vary, depends where you get it from. If you're in the UK, Japan Cool URL, really, really good. Good list of stock, great prices, and if you're in the UK, you're not paying loads of import taxes from getting it from Japan or anywhere else. If you can't find it in the UK, obviously you're going to have to get it from somewhere like, some of the other Japanese stores, but don't worry, you'll get it somewhere. But again, if this is too much for a kit for you, 65, 66 quid, 70 quid, whatever it is, don't panic. You don't have to spend that much on this kit. This is half the cost of a perfect grade strike. So it's not a cheap kit. But you can have a little 1/44 real grade, you could have a master grade, you could have whatever you want. Doesn't matter what the kit is. The kit is not the focus in this. So let me move this out of the way and we will go through some products. So give me a moment. Okay, right. Here are the products we're going to use. This is it. This is the lot. Well, this is what I plan to use. As I said a minute ago, I might change things up a little bit. You never know. I need to stop moving my hands around like this because I appreciate it's really kind of weird watching my hands do this. I want to stop it. Anyway, this is what we're going to be using. We are going to use 2 Tamiya paints. We're going to use 3 Ammo of MIG paints. We're going to use 1. We're going to bang the camera. 1 Abtai. Look, you know it's Starship filth. I don't even know why I bothered pretending. 1 oil paint. 1 Ultimate Wash. 1 roll of tape. Doesn't matter what size. And some brushes. Right. So let me go through these. I'll pop up the price here. That I've looked at these online and I've hunted around and I've looked at the kind of prices I can see them going for. If you hunt around, you can get some really good deals. I've gone for the lowest prices I can find right now. So I'm not going to say where I get them from because they'll vary, and I'm not being sponsored by anybody, so you get nothing from me. Apart from I did say Japan Cool earlier on, but that's because they're kind of awesome. So yeah, they get a free pass. Anyway, right, so let me move these. We'll go through the paints and things. We have a roll of, where's my notes? A roll of, where's my notes? There you go. A roll of Tamiya masking tape. Now this comes in different sizes. This is the 10mm, but you can get other sizes. You can get other sizes, but I can't remember right now. But it doesn't really matter, as long as you get one. I found this, cheapest price I found for this was about £4. So, £4, 2 Tamiya paints. X11 chrome silver. You know I like my chrome silver. And, oh, actually no, 3 paints. I got it wrong. It's gone wrong already. I'm an idiot. Right, somewhere in here, and I can't find it, I have a tub of gunmetal. I did this in the last video as well. I couldn't find my gunmetal. I was trying to find it. Where are we? There we go. 3 pots of Tamiya paint. Oh, God, this is just a failure straight away, isn't it? Can I go home now? Right, so 1 tub of chrome silver X11 gloss colour. 1 tub of German grey XF63 matte colour. And 1 pot of gunmetal X10, another gloss colour. Cheapest I found these for was £1.44 of your earth pence each. And our running total so far is... So, what's next? Thinner. This is my brush washing pot. I'm going to be using Tamiya X20A thinner. Now, don't get the big one like this. This is the kind of big pot it comes in, the 5 billion millilitres. You can get it in these small 10mm pots. And for one build, just get yourself one of these. Again, they are £1.44. So pretend that this looks like one of those. It's a little 10mm pot. You won't need that much. You will need to wash your brushes off, obviously. You can just use water. If I ever use water to clean my brushes off from Tamiya or other acrylic paints, I use hot water in a cup. It's just as good. I mean, you should use some kind of alcohol product, like ideally more thinner. You can sacrifice some of the thinner and put it in a little container. Or you can get a cheap bottle of isopropyl alcohol, or rubbing alcohol, as our American colonial cousins call it. Probably for, a few quid. But if you are stuck on price, just sacrifice some of the little pot of thinner, or get 2. So that's 4 lots of that. So it's another £1.44, which takes our total to... Now, I hope you realise what I'm doing here. I am doing maths for your benefit, and I am allergic to maths. Because when I do maths, I break out in sweats and hives and panic, and I can't breathe, and I feel the urge to flee out of the room. And that's an allergic reaction. If you describe it, that's what happens when you get an allergic reaction to something. So I'm allergic to maths. Right, so... ammo of MIG paints. We have a MIG 191, which is steel. We have a MIG 043, which is shadow rust. And also we have a MIG 212 silver grey. Now, we might not use all of these. If I don't use a product, I will deduct it from the total. That's more maths for your benefit. I'm making the sacrifice here. Cheapest I found these for. Now, bear in mind, again, I'm searching within the UK, because I'm in the UK, so I understand pounds, pence, things. Your mileage may vary depending on where you live. Some places, some of these products might be harder to get, so you'd have to look for similar ones. But I'm going off UK prices because I'm not in America or South Korea or anywhere else. So do some maths. This is English prices, UK prices even. I found these cheapest for, he says, trying to get round to the end of this sentence, £2 and 10 space pence each. So total is... I'm assuming I'm putting the total here. I've not actually done that bit yet. This is just blank when I'm looking at it. The joys of production. Starship Filth. 1 tube of Starship Filth. If you haven't got this already, get some. If you can't get some, okay, I'll give you some options. MiG 502 Abtai Lung Starship Filth. If you can't get it from somewhere like eModels or other online traders, you can get it directly from MiG's store, which is Spanish. Although they seem to be currently out of stock, and if they're out of stock, it means that it isn't anywhere. So this Starship Filth, I found cheapest. Actually, I found it somewhere available, but I can't remember where it was, and I should actually put that up here because they probably got like 3 tubes in the whole world, and it's in this place I found it. Soz. So Starship Filth, I found for £3 and 99 pence of the realm. If you can't find Starship Filth, you can just use artist soils, as I've told you before. I've been told that Payne's Grey and Burnt Sienna can mix to make a quite similar colour, or there's Davies Grey as well, which is kind of similar, and Burnt Umber, things like that. Get yourself a couple of tubes of Artist. I don't have prices for those because I'm not using them, but you can go a little bit cheap. You're just doing this for a gunk wash, so you can go a little bit cheap on those. They might even be cheaper than these. We also have one pot of Ultimate Weather... brain. I forgot how to brain in the middle of a sentence. Brilliant. One pot of Ultimate Modelling Products Weathering Wash Dark Dirt. This is a water and clay based, and I'm sure Paul will kill me if I get it wrong. I probably have. As far as I know, it's basically water and clay and colouring. It is a wash. You slap it on, similar to a gunk wash. Slap it on, give it a little bit to dry, and then use a slightly moist piece of towel or cotton bud Q-tip just to wipe it off, and it stays in the recesses. The reason we're going to be using this, and not just this, is that we're not painting anything. We're not doing base coats and primers. Because we're not doing primers, I can't protect delicate inner frame parts. I can't protect joints and things where anything with thinners like these paints or anything else might get in and damage. As you all know, because I bitch about it all the time, Bandai plastic is very susceptible to thinners in anything, basically. Any kind of thinners. It can melt, break, weaken, corrode the plastic. So what we're going to be doing is, for the outer armour, we're going to be doing a gunk wash into the Starship Filths. For the inner frame, we are going to use, just to be extra safe, oil paints are probably fine, but I have very, very occasionally had pieces break up on me after being covered in oil paint. So oil paint is usually alright, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So it'll be fine on the armour. On the inner frame, I'm going to use the Ultimate Wash because it's water-based, clay-based. It's not going to do any harm. One other thing we're going to use, or two other things, well, three other things actually. Shall I just get myself organised? Would that be like a shocking development? Humbrol acrylic varnish, Humbrol 49. It's matte. Make sure you get acrylic, not enamel. Enamel is evil and will go yellow over time, and it smells, and it's not what you want because it'll do nasty things with your paint. Acrylic, Humbrol 49. The enamel stuff is also called Humbrol 49, so just make sure it says acrylic matte. Matte acrylic, acrylic matte, acrylic, glass bottle, glass bottle. Yeah, 1 can of that. I never gave you the price for that, did I? Jeez Louise, am I... 1, 2, 3 back in the room. You can tell I need to chill out. I'm so knackered. The UMP wash is... It's actually the most expensive product in here. It's £5.29 space pence. But it's really good. It's worth every penny. Humbrol acrylic varnish. Brilliant. Humbrol acrylic varnish. I found for somewhere on my list. Where is it? It is in a place on my list. And the £4.50. Again, it depends where you get it from. Hunt around. You can get this if you don't want to go online. One other thing I need to mention as well, I'm not including shipping charges. If you're ordering online, you're going to pay postage or shipping. I'm not including that. So, just for the sake of simplicity, otherwise we'd never get under 50 quid. Assume if you're buying online, there's going to be a shipping charge. Obvs. This you can, I mean, a lot of these you can get in brick and mortar stores if you've got one nearby. This you can get in the UK. You can get it from lots of model shops. You can get it from Hobbycraft. I tend to go into my local Hobbycraft. I walk in. I smile politely at all the ladies in Hobbycraft because they're all really nice. I walk in. I go into locust mode and I take every single goddamn tin of matte acrylic varnish off the shelf, and then I take all their other like gunmetals and things and I wipe them out, and then I walk out, pay and smile, and then I have to wait about 3 weeks till they get more stock in, and then I go clear it out again. So yeah, they love me. So matte acrylic, £5.29. Obviously there are other acrylic varnishes. We're not going to be using an airbrush. Keep that in mind. So we are limited to things we can spray from a can or apply with a brush. I've not yet found a matte varnish that I'm happy applying with the brush that doesn't come out looking like biblical ass. So this is good. You might end up using 2, so that might be fudging the figures a little bit. Yeah, this isn't an election yet. Oh wait, it is. Never mind. Anyway, so £5.29. We will also use, for our gloss varnish, you know what I'm going to say, Pledge Multi-Surface Wax. It's 7 trillion litres in this bottle, which will last you approximately all the years. It's probably also called Pledge Future Shine, Pledge Future Floor Shine. If you're not sure, go to, I'll post a link in the description for this video because it's dead long and you won't see it here. Do a Google search for The Complete Future. There's a page on a website called Swannie's Models where they list all the different names for this product over the years and currently, and all the different countries, because it's got a trillion different names. It's just all over the place. So I'm using Pledge Multi-Surface Wax. Pledge Multi-Surface Wax. Don't use Pledge acidic burning your face off floor cleaning stuff, because that will obviously just take your paint off. Multi-surface wax. It's not actually a wax. It's basically an acrylic varnish, but it's gloss. This is being used because, again, I can't think of any other gloss varnish that I can brush on and get brilliant results. You might have seen on my desk from time to time, this stuff, crap. That's my considered opinion on Humbrol Clear. Don't even bother. I bought that years ago. I used it once and was like, yeah, that's just going to sit there and collect dust now. I might actually clean the bottles out and use them for something, I don't know, decent, like, I don't know, drool, cold water, fill it with dirt. Much more effective. So yeah, you need to make sure you're going to brush it. We're not going to use an airbrush. This can be brushed. It self-levels like nobody's business. You can brush it, you can airbrush it, you can just dip things in it. It self-levels brilliantly. We're going to be brushing it. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, the Pledge Multi-Surface Wax I found from your local Asda / Sainsbury's / pretty much a lot of supermarkets. It's about £4 for 750ml. £4 for that much. And when you think you pay 10 or 11 quid for a bottle of gloss varnish that might be that size for model making, just use this. Because the thing is, unless you're making a glossy model, this is absolutely fine. If your model's going to be matte and you're not worried about a shiny finish, this is just a means to an end to do things like decals and weathering. Brilliant. Can't go wrong. Last of all, oh no, not last of all. There's loads more than I thought. We might not even do the unboxing at this rate. I'm an idiot. We will need... You don't need to go out and buy decal scissors, because you can just use scissors or a craft knife. You're going to need a modelling knife of some sort. You can just buy a single one. I've just got a single one here I got from Hobbycraft. It was about £6. Oh, total. This is about £6. You can get packs with like a couple of handles and loads of blades. The cheapest I found for a box with like a load of blades and handles was... it was £9 for any models. It was like a box with like 5 or 6 different blades and a couple of different handles. So I'm going to put that price down, £9. However, you can just go out and buy one and pay a lot less or pay a lot more, depending. Or I've forgotten what I was about to say. Oh yeah, you can actually, if you have a local pound shop or bargain type shop where they sell everything for like £1 or £2. My local pound shop's got modelling knife sets for like £1. It's a pound shop. It's obviously a pound. I've got one here somewhere, hidden away. They're not the best in the world, but they work. They're fine. They'll fall apart eventually and the blades will dull, but it's £1. So, what I'm actually going to do is say, don't get that. Don't get the pack. Go to your local pound shop or bargain store and pick up a couple of quid, £2 or £3 at the most, for a model knife set. For one kit, it'll be absolutely fine. In the long term, you want to buy yourself a decent knife. But for that, so let's say £3. £3. So our total so far is... Now, one place you don't want to skimp is... Oh, one other place you can skimp completely? Tweezers. Yeah, you can buy model making tweezers. Just go and get a pair of tweezers from the pound shop. So £1. Our total is... one place you don't want to skimp is your side cutters. If you use cheap side cutters to take your parts off the sprue, you're just going to end up mangling the edges. Now, because we're not painting this, nub marks are going to be really important. So getting rid of those is going to be vital. So make sure you get yourself a good set of nippers. These are the Tamiya ones. The cheapest I found these for was £11 total. Now, last but not least, well, no, actually not last but not least, brushes. If you've already got brushes, fantabulous. You don't need to spend any money. If you haven't got brushes, you can go to a model shop and buy really good ones. Again, though, for one build and for what we're going to be doing, you can go to the pound shop and get a pack for £1 for one build. Long term, you want to get yourself some decent brushes. These brushes here probably total about 13 or 14 quid from over the years, but go to the pound shop for the sake of one build that you're going to be doing a little bit of painting. Just make sure they're like soft and not bristly brushes, but soft brushes. You just need a really small, fine one for tiny details, small as you can find, and a slightly bigger one. So you want one kind of that size, just for painting stuff, and one that's really tiny, just for doing your fine details and things. So I'll put that down as £1 from the pound shop, because they do sell them, or maybe a couple of extra quid, but we'll say £1. So total. What else do we have? There is one thing I totally failed to take account of that I've just thought of now, and that's how to sand your model. You can get sanding sticks, model making ones, but what's easier and cheaper is to go down to your local B&Q or your local hardware store and just get some sandpaper. You'd probably pay, let's say, $1 a sheet at the most. $1? What? What country am I in? God, £1 a sheet. It's probably not even going to be that much. But all you'll need is for a coarse grit. So let's say, I don't know, say 800 grit. 800 grit? Yeah, maybe 800 grit. A 1200 grit, a 2000 grit, and a 3000 grit. Something like that. So you want anything from coarse up to fine, because fine is your polishing paper, and the coarse is the thing you can use to sand down. So let's say you get 4 different sheets, 4 different grits going from rough to smooth. Let's say it's £1 a sheet, 4 quid. That takes our total to. Brilliant. Now I've no idea what the total is because I veered off my original maths now, so I have no idea what that total is. I don't know if it's less than 50 or more than 50. If it's more than 50, arse, we'll work to the budget. It's just a rough idea. What I think is the bare minimum for what I need to do. And when I worked it out, it came to about 50 quid. It's probably about 60 quid now. But so forgive me because I didn't take into account of some things. So I reckon it's possible to do what I'm going to do for, let's say, 50 to 60 quid, unless this total is completely different, in which case I'm just embarrassing myself with every extra word I say. So that's what we're going to be using. I may not use all of these things. If I don't use something, I'll deduct that from the total cost. If I use anything else, I'll add it to the total cost. And at the end of the build, we'll see how much we spent, excluding the cost of the kit. That's very important, because you can spend as much or as little as you want on the kit. So you might have been given a kit as a gift, in which case, woohoo, free, bonus, no money spent. Don't need to worry about things like, obviously, a cutting mat, because I do this all the time. If you don't want to buy a cutting mat, you haven't got a dedicated work, don't worry, just make sure you're careful. Don't put big gouges in your kitchen table if you work on the table. Put some paper down. You should be fine. So I'm sure I've probably forgotten something incredibly vital, but we'll come to that. So, right, let's go and put these away, and I will very quickly, because I've made this video like 1,000 hours long, very quickly go through what's in the box. Right, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you quickly what's in the box. First thing you get, obvs, is your destruction booklet. Being a Vercar kit, I'll explain that in a moment. You get a nice full colour front piece. You get lots of artwork for the design, a little bit of history of the suit. It's supposed to be a prototype. If I remember rightly, I could be wrong because I'm not fully up on the lore from this particular series. It's supposed to be a prototype design that then led towards the Sinanju. If I remember that rightly. It's kind of them ripping off Gundam to make their own mobile suit that then led to the Sinanju. I could be wrong on that. If I am, tell me in the comments. I could be talking out my ass. The one thing that sets us apart from other kits is it is a Vercar, a version Katoki. Bandai call upon the talents of legendary Japanese designer Katoki Hajime. He came in, he puts his own design ethic on it. He takes a kit or takes a mobile suit and redesigns it in his way. And then that leads to these kits. And these are often a little bit more complex than typical master grades, sometimes. And they have their own unique sort of design characteristics that just sets them apart. There's other things, and I'll show you in a minute, what also sets a Vercar kit apart. They're usually a bit more expensive than standard master grades as well, because they don't make as many of these. There's only, I can't remember exactly how many Vercar kits there are, but it's a small number compared to the total number of Gunpla kits. But yeah, they are worth getting for various reasons. Interview with Katoki Hajime. Can't read any of that. He could be talking about when he went to the pub and fell over into a bush. He could be talking about his favourite food. I don't know. It's probably very interesting anyway. It's probably actually how he approached the design. So, parts list as always. All your sprues, all your parts. As with any Bandai kit, if you've not come across it before. A bit more important with this sort of level 2 build than it was with my level 1 how to slap oil paint on your unpainted Gunpla series. It does tell you in the instructions each sprue, so you can check off and make sure you've got all the sprues in the box. It also tells you what the sprue is made of. PS means polystyrene. PS means polystyrene. PS means polystyrene. Basically, unusually, for a Gunpla kit, there is only one frame that's not polystyrene, and that is, I think, the manipulators, and they are ABS. Everything else is polystyrene. Makes this kit a bit different because up until this point, most Gunpla kits had the inner frame parts made of ABS. It's a bit more flexible, and that's where all your joints and things are. The importance with that is, again, not so much really with this compared to fully painting a kit, but you need to keep it in mind. ABS plastic, all Bandai's plastics are susceptible to thinners, like I said before. ABS plastic even more so. So you really need to be careful what you're putting on the ABS parts. Now in this kit, it's just the manipulators, thankfully. So we're going to obviously have to keep that in mind. Put the wrong thing on the plastic, if we're not priming it, it's going to just crumble the plastic. But it will tell you in the kit what each sprue is made of, so you can plan your paint job accordingly. Then we get into the instructions, and always it's done in sections. Body, the head, you go through the upper body, right leg, left leg. It usually follows the same order. You go through, work your way through, you get to the backpack. By this point you get to the weapons section. You've built the entire mobile suit, you've built the backpack, you get what's called weapons fatigue. When you do all that, you finish your work and you go, oh God, I've still got to make the weapons. You will have that moment. Everybody has that moment. Weapons fatigue. You've done so much, especially if you're painting a kit. It's even more work. You get to the point where you get to weapons and you're like, If that happens, just leave it for a day. Go away, do something else, come back. It will happen. Don't panic. It takes a lot of work to make these things sometimes. If you can plow on through, do so, but the risk is you kind of got this little level of boredom. You're like, I just don't want to do these now. I've done the mobile suit, that's the cool bit. If you're getting that, just leave it a day. Weapons, shields, and then at the very end, we get our markings. Now the one thing that sets this apart, well, the other thing that sets a Vercar kit apart from pretty much most of all the other Bandai kits is, for once, you get water slides, not stickers, not dry rubs. You do get a couple of foil stickers, but that's because it's the eyes and things. Water slides, You get many. The other thing that you know about a Vercar kit is they have lots and lots and lots and lots of little warning markers. That's the thing that Kotoki does. He has these everywhere. And when I make a Gunpla, if I throw the stickers away, most kits won't come with those little markings, they'll come with a few. If I throw the kits away, I'll buy the water slide versions. If the water slide versions don't come with a load of these markings, I just buy sheets and sheets of markings like this and just plaster them all over. Because I love that. If you look at the life-size Gundam in Odaiba in Japan, it's covered in these little markings everywhere. Because the thing's 18 metres tall, they've got to cover it in something. So I like these. I love these little markings. They can be tedious, but they're fun. So yeah, you got a couple of foil stickers, you get a little grey bit, you get this white bit for the chin. I'm going to be painting. I will actually paint that bit. I'm not using a sticker for the chin, not having that. And I might just use the eyes. I probably will use a sticker for the eyes, so I don't mind using stickers for eyes. So that's that. Let's get the box of goodies. Yeah, there's a lot in this box. I'll just get this out of the way now. I do like that noise, but it's annoying when you're filming. So give me a second, I'll go and take all these bags off. And we'll have a very quick look at the sprues. Back in a moment. Right, so this is most of the sprues now. As you can see, it's a very white and grey kit. Most of these sprues are actually in a frame. Nothing too particularly worrisome. All really nice. I'll go through a couple of little quick sprues, but there's really strange colours on this. The white is super bright white. There are a small number of these loathsome dark blue sprues. And if you know me, if you've seen them in other videos, This stuff, when you're taking nubs off, it's fantastic because it's the most forgiving plastic when you sand it and trim nubs. They just disappear. Blue stuff, grey stuff. There's none in here, but black frames. You trim the nub off these and the plastic gets stressed and you get that little white bit. It can be so annoying. So we're going to have to be super careful when we're trimming these. Lots of bits of inner frame, as I say. Nice white sprues, really, really bright. The colours on this seem to be brighter than in a normal Gunpla, so looking forward to this one. I'll just move this out of the way. I'll move the camera down so we can see. A second. Hang on. Hang on. Adjusting. That'll do. Right, so just wanted to show a couple of quick things. First and foremost, let's just move the camera here. This sprue here just gives you an idea. These are inner frame parts for the feet and other parts and the legs. Just the nice crisp details on these kits. If this is your first Gunpla, you're going to have some fun, especially with pin washes to get details, dry brushing to bring out highlights. If you're going to pick out any little details on the parts. I don't know if you can see it, but this little part here, let's see if I can get you to zoom in on that. I don't know if this will be in focus. Let me have a look. Will this be in focus? I don't think it will be. Hang on. There we go. Lovely detail on that bit just there. It's just divine. And that's the kind of crisp detail you get on any Bandai kit. You will never, ever find flash on a Bandai kit. You will never, ever find flash or bad moulding or sloppy, unclear detail or anything on a Bandai kit. It's nothing. You just never, ever find it. And if you do find it, send me that sprue and I will give you 5 whole pence. Because I promise you, that's not going to be 5 pence I'm going to be sending you. Never happens. White parts again, just to give you an idea again of the crisp details. Let me zoom in on this bit, if I can focus. Look at that. That's the tip of the beam rifle. And it looks like I've already painted it, but it's not. It's just the bare plastic. But the plastic is so bright and shiny, it's just gorgeous. And again, lots of lovely crisp detail. It's just such a gorgeous kit. Just to give you an idea of size, that's the shield. So it's a nice big hefty shield. That's the kind of size you're looking at. Back of it, obviously, nothing on there. So yeah, that is really, really nice. Really, really nice white. I've never come across such a bright white before. It's taken me by surprise. The closest thing I've seen to these are some of the titanium finish kits, but this isn't titanium finish. It's just bare plastic. So that is gorgeous. What else have we got? One good thing I'm so grateful about, you get 2 big thrusters that are like tubes that go on the back of this kit. They're on the backpack. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to deal with seam lines on these tubes. And that, I want to do as little seam. The reason I'm doing this master grade, and not say a real grade or a high grade, is I don't really want to do any seam filling. This is a skill level 2 kit. I want to try and avoid that if I can. I might have to do a little bit. So I'm thinking those 2 big thruster tubes on the back, they're going to have a big seam line down the middle. Oh, no they're not. They give you the whole tube. In fact, I think these are the thrusters that go on the back, the fuel tanks. Could be part of the bazooka. But if I'm right, they're the fuel tanks, and they are the complete tube. No seam line. Thank you, Bandai. I love you. I want to marry you and have all your babies, all of them, every single one. That is the best thing I've ever seen in the model kit. A tube, not 2 halves with a seam down the middle, a complete tube. Loving that. We've got this little one here. These are the inside parts of the thruster bells, or the verniers. And I just wanted to show this and the grenade launcher grenade things for the shield. Such a bright red. Really, really bright red plastic. Again, this seems to be brighter than the red you normally get on a Gunpla kit. So the colours on these are just great. One other thing I wanted to show. There are a couple of frames that have these grey parts on. And they give this wonderful separation between the grey and the white. And I think there's some parts on the leg where you've got like a white piece of armour with one grey panel. And it's just this gorgeous colour separation you can see there between the two, these 2 runner parts. gorgeous separation that's going to give us. Now, when I did my big RX-78-2, my plan was to make the white armour a mixture of this kind of white and grey. Didn't quite come out that way. It came out kind of a lot different. Yeah, sometimes things don't work out like you plan. But you've just got this wonderful colour separation. I love that. Last thing I want to show you, oh, well, second last thing, the hands. Spiders! I think this is one of the first, or one of the early master grade kits where you get the pre-moulded, pre-jointed manipulator. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit for you. I don't know why I zoomed in. Why can't I just bring it up to the camera? That'd be easier, wouldn't it? Just focus that for you. You get these pre-moulded manipulators. It's hard for me to see. As far as I can tell, I think, I can't quite tell, but I think we have ball joints in here. So you can see here, they've moulded it in one piece. That's the ball joint. On regular master grades, up until this point, you'd get this piece would be a separate bit you'd stick on. You'd pop it in, put a piece over the top, you'd have a ball joint for your thumb. This, it's moulded. I don't know how they do it. They mould this with the ball joint in place. I think you just move it to break the seal and then it's done. Also got ball joints on the fingers. And you can see there they go into the palm of the hand, but that will be a ball joint you can move. And I think they might be articulated in the actual fingers, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't quite tell just by looking at it. But they may also be jointed at the knuckle as well. So if that's the case, kick ass! But I think this is one of the earliest kits that did this, and I think it's the kind of thing they'll do on a perfect grade first, before they start trying it on master grades, to make sure the technology works. And Bandai, you guys are just kin geniuses to actually mould a pre-ball jointed piece in one. It's magic. It's dark magic. Absolute dark magic. And one last little bit. I don't need to show you this really, but this is the clear sprue. You've got the ball for the cockpit and a couple of clear parts. I think these are for sights for the weapons. All I wanted to show you this was for. This is the only piece I'm going to keep in a plastic bag with the crinklies. Purely because I don't want it to get scratched. I know they're only tiny pieces and I'm probably going to paint them all green anyway. But if I can, I want to keep the clear plastic clear. I know I'm not actually going to see the cockpit because it's inside the body. But I thought I'll keep it in the bag. So if you've got clear parts on your model, whatever the model is, good practice, keep them in the plastic bag. Because it's going to be late on in the build you actually do anything with these. And if they're rattling around in the box with all of the sprues, they're just going to get scratched. And especially if it's, say, a plane and it's a canopy or a vehicle with windows, the last thing you want is scuffed and scratched clear plastic. So keep your clear parts in a bag. That's it. That will do. Again, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll get up as quickly as possible. This should be a fairly quick build, to be honest. It won't take long. Although I've got to spend a couple of days cleaning all the parts. Denubbing. Denubbing. I'm not going to show that. I'll probably give you a quick 5-minute thing of how you take a nub off, how you sand it down, and then I'll just get the rest done. Because I only need to show you that. I don't need to film the whole denubbing process. So, take care of yourselves. Watch for the next one. Stay tuned for the next RX-78-2 video. Stay tuned for the next Destiny Gundam video. And we will see you soon. So until next time, you know what's coming. Adios, amoebas! So I'll stop waving now. I'll stop.